5 lies about karma that keep you stuck in fear. Long ago, in a small village, there was a man who often blamed all of his misfortunes on karma. Whenever his crops failed, whenever his business lost money, whenever his family argued, he would shake his head and sigh, "Ah, it is my karma. There is nothing I can do." Day after day, he carried this belief like a heavy burden. To him, karma was an invisible jailer, locking him into pain and suffering. He saw no way out, no possibility of change. But one evening, as he sat under the shade of an old banyan tree, he overheard a monk teaching a group of villagers. The monk said gently, "Karma is not your jailer. Karma is your teacher. Karma is simply the echo of your own thoughts, words, and actions. Just as a farmer harvests the seeds he has planted, so too do we meet the results of what we have sown. But remember, if you do not like what is growing in your field, you can always plant new seeds." The man was struck silent. He had always thought karma was punishment handed down by some unseen power. But here was a different truth. Karma was not there to chain him, but to guide him. That night he could not sleep. He thought of the countless moments when he had spoken harshly, when he had acted carelessly, when he had allowed bitterness to guide his choices. He realized that those moments were not fate. They were seeds. And if he could change his actions, he could change his harvest. My friends, how many of us live like that man? How many times have we said, "It's just my karma," as if karma were a curse we cannot escape? How many times have we looked at another person's suffering and whispered, "They must have bad karma," without ever pausing to see their humanity, their pain, their courage? Today I want to invite you to sit with me and look deeply into these misunderstandings about karma. Because karma is one of the most spoken about teachings of the Buddha, but it is also one of the most misunderstood. People use the word lightly, as if it were a joke or a threat, but rarely do we pause to understand its depth. Karma is not about punishment. Karma is not about blind fate. Karma is not a system of reward and punishment, governed by some higher power. Karma is far more profound, far more intimate, far more alive. Karma is the reflection of our own life. It is the unfolding of our choices. It is the way our thoughts shape our words shape our actions, and our actions shape our destiny. And here is the truth that can give us hope. Karma is not fixed. It is not written in stone. In every moment, with every breath, we have the chance to plant new seeds. Seeds of kindness, seeds of wisdom, seeds of compassion. And those seeds will grow. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day they will blossom into peace. So let us walk together on this journey. Let us clear away the fog of misconceptions. Let us discover what karma really means, not as a chain that binds us, but as a mirror that shows us where we stand, and a map that guides us toward freedom. Because when we truly understand karma, we no longer live in fear of it. We begin to live in harmony with it. And that, my friends, is the beginning of wisdom. Misconception 1. Karma is instant punishment or reward. Many people believe that karma works like instant punishment or reward. Something bad happens, and immediately they say, "That's your karma." Something good happens and they whisper, "Ah, good karma." It sounds simple, almost like karma is a vending machine. Put in one action, get back one result right away. But this, my friends, is a misunderstanding. Karma does not strike like lightning the moment you act. It is not a cosmic police officer waiting to catch you the second you make a mistake. Karma is more like a seed planted in the soil of your life. A seed takes time to sprout. It needs rain. It needs sunlight. It needs the right conditions. In the same way, the results of our actions need conditions to ripen. Sometimes they ripen quickly, sometimes slowly, sometimes not until another lifetime. Think of a farmer who plants mango seeds in his field. He does not expect mangoes to appear the next morning. He waters them. He protects them. He waits. Months, even years may pass before the tree bears fruit. But when the season comes, the fruit is certain. In the same way, karma does not always appear instantly, but it always follows the nature of what was planted. A seed of kindness will never grow into hatred. A seed of anger will never grow into peace. This is why the Buddha often spoke about patience. If we do good and expect instant rewards, we may become discouraged when nothing seems to happen. I gave to charity. Why am I still struggling? I forgave someone. Why am I not happier yet? But this is like a farmer stomping his feet because the tree has not grown in a single day. The fruit will come, but only when the season is right. At the same time, when people do harm and seem to prosper, we should not rush to say that karma does not exist. Perhaps the seeds of their harmful actions have not yet ripened. Perhaps conditions are not yet ready. But the law of karma is sure what is planted will bear fruit. It may take time, but it cannot be escaped. Understanding this frees us from impatience and judgment. We learn to trust the process. We stop looking at every moment of pain as immediate punishment, and every moment of joy as immediate reward. Instead, we see the bigger picture. We learn to plant good seeds not for quick results, but because we know that in time goodness will blossom. So the first misconception is this: karma is not an instant system of justice. It is a deep and patient law of cause and effect. And when we grasp this truth, we stop living in fear of quick punishment, and we begin to live with the steady confidence of a farmer who knows his harvest will come. Misconception 2. Karma is fate, unchangeable. Another common misunderstanding is the belief that karma is fate, fixed and unchangeable. People say, "This is my karma, I cannot escape it," as though they are sentenced to live out a destiny already written. They carry this belief like chains around their ankles, dragging it through every choice, every opportunity, every breath. But this is not what the Buddha taught. Karma is not a prison. Karma is simply the law of cause and effect. And here is the key. While the effects of past causes may still unfold, new causes are being created every moment. You are not just the heir of your old karma. You are the creator of your new karma. That means you are not powerless. You are not doomed to repeat the same mistakes forever. At every moment, you can plant new seeds. Imagine a man who has spent years sowing bitter seeds in his field. The soil now grows weeds and thorn bushes. Does this mean he must forever harvest pain? Not at all. If he changes his ways and begins to plant flowers and fruit trees, the thorns will not vanish overnight. But in time, the beauty will overtake the bitterness. In the same way, the karma of our past may still bear fruit, but the karma of today can transform tomorrow. The Buddha once said, "If you want to know your past, look at your present. If you want to know your future, look at your present." These words remind us that the present moment is the bridge between what was and what will be. If we think of karma as unchangeable, we live with despair. But if we see karma as living and flexible, we live with hope. Think of your own life. Have there been times when you thought you were trapped, only to find that a single wise choice opened a new path? Perhaps you carried anger for years, and then with one act of forgiveness, the burden lifted. Perhaps you lived in fear, and then with one step of courage, the world opened. These are not accidents. They are proof that karma bends with our choices. So let us release the idea that we are victims of fate. Let us remember that every thought, every word, every action is fresh, karma being created. The past has shaped us, yes, but the present shapes the future. And in this moment, right now, you hold the power to transform the direction of your life. Karma is not destiny carved in stone. Karma is a river. It flows according to the banks we build, the stones we place, the direction we choose. If the current has carried us into dark waters, we can still guide it back toward the light. Misconception 3. Karma is only about past lives. Another widespread misunderstanding is the belief that karma is only about past lives. People hear the word and immediately think of some mysterious force stretching back into lifetimes they cannot remember. They shrug and say, "What can I do? This is all from my past life's karma," as though today has no voice, no weight, no power. But this is not the whole truth. Yes, Buddhism teaches that karma can flow across lifetimes. Seeds planted long ago can bear fruit in the present. But karma is not locked in the past. It is alive in this very moment. Every thought you think, every word you speak, every action you take right now is fresh karma being created. You are not only living with the results of what came before, you are actively shaping what comes next. Think about it this way. If you speak kindly to someone today, you may bring them peace in that instant. If you speak harshly, you may bring them pain right away. That is immediate karma, not from another life, not from some hidden past, but from now. The Buddha often reminded his disciples, "Intention, I tell you, is karma, and intention is born fresh with every breath." When we reduce karma only to past lives, we strip ourselves of responsibility in the present. It becomes an excuse to avoid change. I am angry because of my past karma. I am suffering because of what I did in another life. But this view leaves us powerless. The truth is far more liberating. We are not prisoners of yesterday. We are gardeners of today. Imagine carrying a bag of seeds. Some are bitter, some are sweet, some you collected long ago, some you gathered just this morning. If you throw them into the soil carelessly, the field will be wild and tangled. But if you choose carefully, planting seeds of compassion, patience, and generosity, your garden will slowly transform. This is the present power of karma. Look at your daily life. Every time you choose patience instead of anger, you plant peace. Every time you choose honesty instead of deceit, you plant trust. Every time you choose compassion instead of judgment, you plant love. These choices are not delayed for another lifetime. They shape your heart, your relationships, your peace right now. So let us move away from the idea that karma is some faraway thing hidden in past lives. Yes, it stretches across the stream of existence, but it also flows through the cup of tea you drink, the words you say to a friend, the way you breathe, in this very moment. The truth of karma is not distant. It is immediate, intimate, alive. And when we see this, we no longer live like victims of a forgotten past. We live as conscious creators of the present, and in the present we find freedom. Misconception 4. Karma means suffering is always deserved. Another misunderstanding that causes much harm is the idea that karma means suffering is always deserved. How many times have we heard someone look at a person in pain and whisper, "It's their karma," as if their suffering is proof of some secret wrongdoing? This belief turns karma into a weapon of blame, and instead of opening our hearts with compassion, it closes them with judgment. But the Buddha never taught us to use karma as a tool for pointing fingers. He taught us to see with wisdom and respond with compassion. Yes, suffering can be the ripening of past actions, but suffering can also arise from conditions we do not fully see. To reduce a person's entire pain to the words, "It's their karma," is not wisdom. It is cruelty. Imagine a storm passing through a village. The rain falls on every roof. The lightning strikes without choosing one house over another. In the same way, life brings hardship to all. Sometimes it comes from karma ripening, sometimes from the natural conditions of living in a fragile body and an uncertain world. If we say every difficulty is deserved, we forget that the Buddha himself, though fully awakened, still experienced sickness, old age, and death. Were those punishments? Of course not. They were part of being alive. Think also of a child born with an illness. To say, that is their bad karma, is to shut our eyes to their innocence and their need for love. The Buddha never asked us to explain away another's suffering. He asked us to respond with compassion, to ease pain where we can, to offer kindness where life has been harsh. Whether a person's hardship comes from past causes or present conditions, our duty is not to judge but to care. When we misuse the idea of karma as judgment, we harden our own hearts. We create pride, thinking, "I am better because I do not suffer as they do." But in truth, no one is beyond suffering. Pain comes to all, in different ways at different times. What separates the wise from the ignorant is not whether they suffer, but how they meet that suffering, with bitterness or with compassion. So let us lay down this misconception. Let us stop looking at the sick, the poor, the broken-hearted and saying, "They must deserve it." Instead, let us open our eyes and ask, "How can I help?" Because every act of compassion plants new seeds of goodness, not only for them but also for ourselves. Karma is not about deciding who deserves what. Karma is about understanding that all actions leave echoes, and those echoes ripple through the world. When we meet suffering with judgment, we deepen the world's pain. When we meet suffering with compassion, we soften it. And that, my friends, is the true practice. Misconception 5. Karma is a system of reward and punishment by a higher power. The fifth great misunderstanding is the belief that karma is a system of reward and punishment, managed by some higher power. Many people imagine karma like a cosmic judge sitting on a throne, keeping a record of all our deeds, ready to punish the bad and reward the good. They picture an external force handing out justice, much like a parent scolding a child, or a ruler enforcing laws. But karma does not work that way. The Buddha was very clear. Karma is not controlled by gods, spirits, or any external authority. Karma is natural law, as real and impartial as gravity. Just as a stone dropped from your hand falls to the ground, so too do your actions return to you in accordance with their nature. If you act with anger, anger shapes your mind and your life. If you act with kindness, kindness becomes your refuge. No one outside of you is deciding this. It is simply the way life unfolds. Consider fire. If you place your hand in it, it will burn you. Not because the fire is angry, not because someone decided you deserve pain, but because that is the nature of fire. In the same way, if you cultivate hatred, it will burn you. If you cultivate compassion, it will heal you. Karma is not judgment. It is cause and effect. This truth is both sobering and empowering. Sobering because it means we cannot hide behind excuses or blame others for the results of our actions. Empowering because it means our lives are truly in our hands. The Buddha said, "You are the owner of your karma. You are the heir of your karma." This is not a sentence of despair. It is a gift of responsibility. When we see karma as controlled by a higher power, we fall into fear. We live trying to please or appease something outside ourselves. But when we understand karma as natural law, we realize that every choice matters, not because someone is watching, but because life itself reflects back what we give it. This understanding frees us from superstition and opens the path of wisdom. Think of a mirror. When you smile, the reflection smiles. When you frown, the reflection frowns. The mirror does not decide to reward or punish you. It simply reflects. Karma is like that mirror. It reflects the nature of our actions back to us. And once we understand this, we stop fearing judgment and start cultivating clarity. So the fifth misconception must be: let go of karma is not a divine scoreboard, not a cosmic judge, not a supernatural punishment system. It is the simple, profound truth that what we do, think, and say shapes who we are and what we experience. The hands that plant the seeds are our own, and the fruits that grow are ours to harvest. Conclusion. My friends, we have walked together through the shadows of misunderstanding and into the light of clarity. We began with the story of a man who thought karma was his jailer, punishing him at every turn. And we discovered that he was not alone. Many of us carry these same misconceptions, heavy as stones in our hearts. We saw that karma is not instant punishment or reward. Life is not a vending machine that spits out results. The moment we press a button, karma is more like a seed that waits for the right season to grow. We saw that karma is not fate, fixed and unchangeable. At every moment, new seeds can be planted, new choices can be made, new paths can be walked. We saw that karma is not only about past lives, hidden from our sight. It is alive in every breath, in every word, in every step we take today. We saw that karma is not a reason to judge suffering as deserved. Instead, it is a call to compassion, to ease the burdens of others with kindness. And we saw that karma is not a system of rewards and punishments handed down by a higher power. It is the natural law of cause and effect, impartial, unshaken, always reflecting our own actions back to us. When we understand this, karma stops being something to fear. It becomes a teacher, showing us the path to freedom. It becomes a mirror, helping us see ourselves more clearly. It becomes a guide, reminding us that every choice matters, no matter how small. So let us live with this wisdom. Let us stop blaming karma as if it were our enemy. Let us stop using karma as a weapon to judge others. Instead, let us embrace karma as a reminder that the power to change, to grow, to heal, is always in our hands. The man under the banyan tree discovered that truth when he heard the monk's gentle words, and we too can discover it, right here, right now. Karma is not our jailer. Karma is our path, and with every step taken in mindfulness, with every act of compassion, with every seed of kindness planted, that path becomes brighter, smoother, more filled with peace. This, my friends, is the gift of understanding karma. Not fear, not despair, but freedom. And in that freedom, the chance to live fully, to love deeply, to awaken completely.